This is topic B on page 170, Managing Workbook and Worksheet Views.
You've likely already noticed that large worksheets can be difficult to read. You may have to scroll quite a bit vertically or horizontally to view cell data, and when you do, you can't always see row and column labels. Also, you may want to compare data that exists in cells that are nowhere near each other or that are entered into completely different workbooks. By leveraging Excel's different view options, you'll be able to easily review data from different sources simultaneously, copy and paste data to the correct location without risking error, and save yourself time and headaches by avoiding scrolling through endless rows and columns of data. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is how to create custom views. Let's say I chose quarterly summary, my product net sales here. I chose this range, and on my page layout tab in my page setup group, I set my print area for this. Let's also say that I hid rows A through G. And we'll say I zoomed out so I could view this all on screen to 70%. I can save this view so I can easily come back to it later if I wanted to. On my View tab in my Workbook Views command group, here I can select Custom Views. Opens up my dialog box, and I can add this, let's say we'll call it Quarterly Summary View. And I can choose which settings to save to this view. My print settings, so that's good because I set my print area already, and also my hidden rows, columns, and filter settings. So that's good since I hid a lot of my columns from view. So I can click OK. Now let's say I go and unhide all of my stuff. Unhide columns, okay. And we can also clear our print area as well. And let's bring our view to, whoops, I could do it from here too, 100%. Now, if I were to go to custom views now, here I have my quarterly summary view. I can select that and click show. Automatically jumps me 70%. My print area, if I go to File and Print, my print area is set to that range. And also, those previous columns that I hid are also gone. So again, quick way to save your view if you ever want to jump back to it for whatever reason. All right, so I'll go ahead and revert back to my original view again by unhiding my columns, clearing my print area, and changing my view back, my zoom back to 100. All right, so that is your custom views. Now, suppose you need to view various sections of the same worksheet simultaneously. We have what we call a split command. Let's say I wanted to view January 6, 2015 transaction, but I also want to view January 24th transaction, and I want to kind of compare them one on top of the other. I can split the screen into two parts. If I select the one right under that, January 7th, go up to my View tab, Windows command group, here I have my split command. Look what happens. I get this dark gray line going across. My screen is now split into two panes. I still only have one workbook open, but if I click into the bottom, you can see I have two separate scroll bars, one at the top and one at the bottom. I can scroll down. So now I can bring the 24th transaction into view, And I can put that right underneath January 6th so I can, compare the units sold or whatever I need to compare. But different data that would normally not be on the same screen at once, you can do that by splitting your screen. And to take that split off, you can see it's activated right now. Just click on it to deactivate it, and your screen goes back to normal. All right. Same way you can split into top and bottom panes by a row. You can split by a column as well. If I select column H and split, now you can see I have two horizontal scroll bars. Okay. Same idea. You may have many, columns spanning across your worksheet that aren't in view one at a time, and you need to compare them. You can do that as well. Same to deactivate, just click on your split command and it's brought back in to your normal view. Now, how about this? If I'm scrolling down on my digital screen, we saw when we printed titles, that they printed on one page at a time, but we were able to repeat them so they printed on every single page. What about when we're scrolling on our screen? If I scroll down, my columns are out of view. My column headers are out of view, right? I don't know what $1,034.67 represents. So I can actually freeze my row at the top so it stays put. And to do that, I go to my View tab on my ribbon, and in my Window command group, here I have my Freeze Panes. I can choose to freeze the top row. I can choose to freeze the first column if I want. So let's freeze the top row. Choose this. Now when I scroll down, look at that. My columns stay in place. Now, what about when I'm scrolling to the side and I'm looking at this and I don't know what transaction date that is? I can freeze the first column. Freeze panes, freeze first column, scroll to the side, it stays in place. All right, so now both are frozen. Now I'm going to unfreeze my panes. You can see now everything scrolls with me. What if I wanted to freeze my product numbers and I wanted to freeze my units sold? Obviously, product numbers scrolling to the side is not my first column. But if I choose cell C2 and go to my Freeze Panes drop-down and just select Freeze Panes, everything above my selected cell and everything to the left of my selected cell is going to freeze. So watch, if I scroll down, my header's frozen, which is what I want, and if I scroll to the right, those two columns are frozen. So select your cell and everything to the top and everything to the left will be frozen as well. Freeze panes and unfreeze them. Everything's back to normal. So a great feature there. We're going to take a look at a few of our features in our Windows command group. First, the new window command. This just creates a duplicate of the same document that you're working on. So right now I have Chapter 6 open. If I select New Window, you can see it's appended with the number 2. And if I hover over, I have two of the same document open. If I save in either one, it's going to be saved to the main. Okay, so kind of useful like the split command is if you're working in, if you're referring to a specific position in your document and you need to scroll very far to look at another place, you can do that by having two of the same one open. But I would say it's much easier to use the split command. But a plus for having two of the same document open, what if some of the data is on a different worksheet tab? Okay, you can have one worksheet open in one document and, the first worksheet open in another. All right, how about arrange all? When you select Arrange All, you have, this is an option for arranging multiple workbooks that you have open. So right now I have 2 workbooks open. It's the same one, but that doesn't matter. Suppose I have multiple workbooks open and I want to arrange them on screen together. Tiled, click OK, and it will give them equal screen length so I can see them side by side. Horizontal, one on top of the other. Vertical is going to look the same as tiled because I only have 2 open, but imagine if we had 3. It would give them equal screen length going up and down. And then cascade is going to kind of put them overlapping each other, you see? So I can click behind and click into this little section of the other one, and it will activate that. Come on. Usually it's tiled like this so you can see the actual title bars and then click like that. That's what it's supposed to do. All right, so that's your Arrange All. And we can also view our workbooks side by side. Now, when they say side by side, it's really not side by side. It's really one on top of the other like shown here. So why they call it side by side, I don't know. But with the side-by-side option, you can see that synchronous scrolling is also enabled as well. If I scroll in the top one, look, it's also scrolling in the bottom one. Okay? You can turn that off just by clicking on it, and you can scroll independently. So now I'm scrolling in the top one, the bottom one is staying put. All right? If you have, let's say, both of them maximized to full screen, right now I have number 1 to the front. If I want to switch to number 2, I can go to my switch windows, click on number 2, and that's brought to the forefront. So that's kind of the same as going down to your taskbar and clicking on the one that you want active. All right, so those are your different options for your workbook views. So you'll practice this out in the next video.
The next video, which is activity 6.2 on page 177.